There is something quietly extraordinary that happens when two people who have truly begun to wake up to their real nature meet each other. It does not look like the romance novels. It does not look like the dramatic love stories you see in films. And it is not even what many spiritual communities describe. It is something more subtle, more grounded, in many ways more beautiful than anything we were trained to expect. Most relationships in this world, if we are honest, are built on a kind of shared incompleteness. Two people come together because each one feels that something is missing inside, and the other seems to promise to fill that space. We call this falling in love. But very often it is falling into need. It is two halves trying to make a whole, two empty cups trying to pour into each other, two people who are drowning, clinging to each other in the hope that if they hold on tight enough, they will not sink. There is nothing evil about this. This is the level where most of humanity is living. These relationships can be kind, sweet, even long-lasting, but they quietly rest on a misunderstanding. They are built on the belief that you are incomplete, that happiness is somewhere outside you, that another person can give you what you secretly believe you lack in yourself. Now imagine something different. Imagine two people who have already seen, even glimpsed, that the wholeness they spent years seeking outside was never really outside at all. They have tasted their own inner ground. They have felt moments where they are not chasing completion in someone else. When two such people meet, the entire tone of the relationship changes. The first thing to understand is very simple and very shocking. Awakened souls do not need each other. Let that sink in. They do not need each other. They may care deeply. They may love deeply. They may choose to walk side by side. But the desperate sense of "I cannot live without you" is gone. They have already discovered that the wholeness they longed for was never in another face. They have realized they are not small, limited beings begging the world to complete them. They are expressions of the same wider life, the same consciousness, showing up in two different forms. So when they encounter each other, they are not rushing in to fill a void. They come together because they genuinely want to, not because they have to. And this one difference changes everything. The relationship is not built on need, but on choice. Not on desperation, but on preference. Not on compensation, but on celebration. Think of it like this. When you are very hungry, you will eat almost anything. You are not really tasting the food. You are just trying to stop the pain in your stomach. But when you are already nourished, already full enough, and you choose to eat, you taste every flavor. You feel the texture, the warmth, the subtlety. You are eating for the joy of it, not to fix a problem. That is what happens when two awakened souls come together. They are not using each other. They are not trying to extract something from the other to ease their own emptiness. They are simply enjoying each other, appreciating each other. They are quietly amazed that the same mystery that lives in them is shining back through another pair of eyes. And because neither person is clinging, grasping, or demanding, a rare kind of freedom appears. Each person is free to be themselves, free to change, free to grow, free to move with life. There is no sense of ownership, no heavy fear of loss, no frantic need to control or to make the other fit some story of how a partner should be. When an awakened person looks into the eyes of another awakened person, they are not seeing a missing half they must hold on to. They are seeing the universe looking back at itself. The same awareness that looks through their own eyes is looking through the other. One consciousness tasting itself from two different angles. A gentle cosmic game of hide and seek. This recognition creates a very special kind of intimacy. It is not the tight, clinging intimacy of two people who are terrified of being alone. It is not the stormy intensity of two egos trying to merge and losing themselves in the process. It is more spacious, more relaxed, more like two martial artists who trust each other completely and can move with grace in the same space without colliding. Let us talk about what does not happen when two awakened souls meet. There is no endless drama. Passion can be there. Intensity can be there. But the neurotic theater, the constant emotional cliff edge, the games and manipulation and power struggles start to fall away. Why? Because both people have already seen through the game of ego. They know the inner voice that says, I must be right, I must win, I must control. They can notice it, but they do not worship it. Jealousy may arise for a moment. They are still human, but they do not build a story on top of it. They do not use it as a weapon. They see it as a wave moving through awareness, not as a command that must be obeyed. There is no deep terror of abandonment because they have discovered that they can never be truly abandoned. Even if the other person leaves, even if the relationship ends, their basic sense of wholeness is not destroyed. They may feel grief and sadness. They may mourn the end of something beautiful, but they do not feel that their very existence has been shattered. Perhaps most importantly, there is no attempt to possess the other person. An awakened soul understands that you cannot own another human being any more than you can own the wind or the sea. The other is free, has always been free, will always be free. And this freedom is not seen as a threat, but as something sacred. They are not trying to lock a bird in a cage. They are watching the bird fly, and their heart bows to its flight. So what does happen when two awakened souls meet? First, there is recognition. Often it is quick. Not the Hollywood version of love at first sight, but a deeper, I see you. Not just your face, not just your personality, but something behind that. And you see me in the same way. Masks become unnecessary. The social performance can drop. The old defenses of the ego relax. Both people feel they can be honest. They can show their shadow as well as their light. They can stop pretending. This recognition changes how they communicate. When awakened souls speak, they are not only trading information or defending positions or trying to impress each other. They are playing with ideas, exploring perspectives, testing insights. They can disagree completely without the bond being threatened, because neither is fused with their opinions. They know they are not their thoughts. They are the awareness in which thoughts come and go. There is also a profound respect, not the shallow politeness of social masks, but a deep bow to the mystery that each person is. An awakened soul knows I can never fully understand you. You are too deep, too alive, too changing, and they do not need to put the other into a fixed box. They allow the other to stay mysterious, to surprise them, to change direction. They are not trying to solve the other person like a puzzle so they can control them. They are simply grateful that such a mystery exists in their life at all. Something else appears in these meetings: silence. When two awakened souls are together, there can be long stretches of quiet that are completely comfortable. No one is scrambling to fill the space with noise. The silence is not empty. It is full and alive. They are simply resting in each other's presence. Consciousness resting in consciousness. Awareness enjoying awareness. When they do speak, there is a rare quality of listening. Each one is actually hearing the other, not just waiting for their turn to talk, not filtering every sentence through their own story or agenda. They are open, curious, willing to be changed by what they hear. There is also a kind of shared humor that tends to emerge. They can laugh together at the enormous cosmic joke, at the strangeness of existence, at the weirdness of being a self in a body on a spinning planet. They do not take themselves too seriously. They can see their own ego patterns and smile at them. They know they are part of the human comedy, not above it. Physical intimacy, when it appears between awakened souls, carries a different energy. It is not about conquest, not about using the other body as a drug, not about proving worth or value. It becomes a form of play, a celebration of being alive in a body, consciousness exploring itself through touch and closeness. There is no performance energy, because no one is trying to fit a role or impress. There is no deep disconnection, because both people are actually present. They are feeling, breathing, aware, rooted in the moment rather than lost in fantasy. Another surprising feature is that awakened souls can be together or apart with equal ease. They do not cling to constant closeness. They understand that both nearness and space have value. Separation does not automatically mean rejection. Coming together does not automatically mean ownership. The relationship moves with a natural rhythm, like breath, in and out, together and apart. Neither phase is seen as better. Both are part of the dance. When conflicts arise, and they do even between awakened beings, they are handled differently. There is no burning need to be right, no secret scoreboard. Both people care more about understanding than about winning, more about truth than about ego comfort. They can admit when they are wrong without collapsing. They can say, "I am sorry," without feeling humiliated. They can forgive without keeping a quiet list of debts. There is a generosity that flows in these relationships, not a forced giving to earn love, but a natural giving from someone who feels already full enough. The awakened soul gives because it is a joy to give. They support the growth of the other person, even when that growth moves them in a new direction. They want the other to become as fully themselves as possible, even if that someday means leaving. And this brings us to a crucial point. When two awakened souls meet, they understand that the relationship may not last forever, and they are at peace with that possibility. They do not rush to lock it in, to sign a contract with the universe that this must last until death. They are here now. They love now. They show up now. They enjoy the connection fully in the present without building heavy expectations on top of it. Paradoxically, this lack of clinging often allows the relationship to go deeper and last longer than many bonds built on fear and need. There is also a quiet form of surrender in such a relationship, not one person surrendering to another, but both surrendering to something larger than their individual stories. They allow life to move through their connection, to shape it, to grow it, or to end it. They are not forcing the relationship to match an ideal image. They are letting it be what it is, letting it evolve naturally, trusting the deeper intelligence of life. When awakened souls are together, they bring out the best in each other, but not by correcting or fixing. They do it by being themselves, by modeling honesty, presence, courage, by creating a space where the other feels safe enough to drop their mask. Each person's awakening deepens the other's awakening. It is like two tuning forks that begin to vibrate at the same frequency, each strengthening the other. There is also a sense of sacred ordinariness. Everything becomes meaningful, not just the high moments. Washing dishes together, driving in traffic, paying bills, sitting quietly on the couch. All of these small events are infused with presence, with awareness, with a sense that this moment, just as it is the only moment there truly is. They are not postponing their happiness until a future event. They are not waiting for some perfect weekend or goal to finally relax. They find the extraordinary inside the ordinary, the sacred inside the everyday, something else that may surprise you. Awakened souls still feel the whole range of human emotions. They feel attraction, they feel tenderness, they feel annoyance, jealousy, anger, grief. But they do not cling to those emotions or build identity around them. They do not turn them into weapons. They feel them fully, honestly, and then they let them move on. The emotions pass through them like weather across the sky. The sky does not cling to the storm or resist the sunlight. It allows both. At a deeper level, they know that this relationship is not finally about personal fulfillment. It is not about two separate people completing each other or constructing a perfect life together. It is about something larger, using this connection as a mirror. Consciousness exploring itself in another. Life looking at itself through two different faces. There is a saying in Zen before enlightenment: chop wood and carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood and carry water. Something very similar can be said about relationships. Before awakening, you relate to another person. After awakening, you still relate to another person. From the outside, the behavior may look similar, but the inner quality is completely different. In awakened relationship, the practical challenges remain: money, health, family, habits, different needs, and rhythms. But these challenges are not seen as proof that something is wrong. They are seen as teachers. Each difficulty becomes an invitation to deeper understanding. Each conflict becomes a doorway into greater presence, greater honesty, greater compassion. And perhaps most quietly beautiful of all, when two awakened souls meet, they generate a field around them. Their presence together has a certain flavor that others can feel, even if they cannot describe it. It is peaceful but not numb, joyful but not manic, loving but not needy. It invites others to relax, to be more themselves, to remember, even for a moment, their own deeper nature. This is what it looks like when two awakened souls meet. Not fireworks and endless drama, not desperate clinging dressed up as romance, but something softer and more powerful. A meeting of two beings who remember what they truly are, who recognize the same light in each other, who can walk together without stepping on each other's toes, who can be fully together and fully free at the same time. It is a relationship not built on need, but on celebration, not on possession, but on appreciation, not on fear, but on trust, not on constant becoming, but on the simple fact of being. And in this being together, in this mutual recognition, something fundamental is revealed, that love is not a transaction between two separate units. It is the clear seeing that there are no separate units. There never were. There never could be. Just one life, meeting itself again and again in countless forms,